This is Hip Hop 40. You're checking us out, hiphop40live.com. I am your host, Drez the Beatnik, and you are here at the Artist Shop. The crew is still here with his crew. What's up? Where y'all at right now? All right. No doubt. Well, we are here in what's called the couch segment, the couch session. And I got a young man. I like to call him a young man because hip-hop never dies. Music never dies. Y'all know how I go here. This gentleman hails from beautiful state of Jersey. He is not only a songwriter, MC, he is a businessman, a mover, a shaker, all-around great guy. And I want to introduce you to him. He's a friend of mine, soon to be a great friend of yours. Give it up for the one and only YZ, y'all. YZ, make some noise for him. What up, man?
All right.
No doubt, man. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
No doubt, man.
I have to say, man, I love what y'all doing here, bro. This is like really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know, we only move as great as the people that are behind the camera. So they're all wonderful people.
The fact that an idea was similar, I had talked to somebody in your crew about something like this, but we were just talking about us. To think that you got a whole crew here, you know, making, you know, Disney come alive.
Okay. We time traveling definitely, man, and bringing it from the past to the future. Man, thank you. Well, seriously though, thank you for taking the time to come and talk with us, man. We've been trying to get you for a couple weeks now, and you know, we caught up with you. Last time we caught up with you was over at the A3C Festival in Atlanta back in October, and you was like, "What's up?" And here you are.
Yeah, I am, man. A3C was an interesting thing. Big shootout.
Yeah.
Well, the second night. The first night was actually great. I got a chance to see you do your thing, and
thank you for that.
And Wu-Tang did their thing on stage. I was surprised to see Royce come. That was, I think, the following night. Who else was there that I thought was pretty dope? I actually was there to see Wayne perform. I thought, because I had never seen Wayne perform live, so I thought it was going to be cool. So I actually got a chance to see him perform maybe a half a song or one song or something like that.
Yeah.
Before the mayhem.
Before the unfortunate.
Hopefully no one got hurt.
From what I understand, some people did, but not enough to tarnish the name or the legacy of the festival in and of itself. So that's always a good thing. But we're shifting gears to speak about you this evening.
I thought we were going to talk about the election. Today is election day.
Yeah, it is election day.
You know, it's funny when I think it's weird how things happen. If anybody knows anything about me, like I don't really talk about what I do. Like I just do it.
Right.
You know, I've been in business a long time, and so I figured it's best to just move in silence when it comes to that, because my mother told me a long time ago, when you put it out there, sometimes you jinx it. But I will say that things are very well. I have a company called TBB, which is the Black Bank, with a couple of partners of mine, and out of New Jersey. We buy properties. We invest in numerous things, from I'll be honest, from marijuana to you know, shoes and sneakers to artists' careers.
It's 2018. We can talk about it.
Oh yeah. So you know, I do a bunch of stuff, but rather than to get into great detail, I just try to keep it general and keep it moving, without having to be like this person with like a banner.
I got you.
Yeah.
So where did your thirst for economic empowerment come from? Where did it get started?
Actually, I believe it happened when I was out with my grandfather. I was probably 8, 9 years old, and my grandfather said, "Jump in the truck with me." We were in New Jersey. They lived in this really big house on the east side of Patterson. Kind of close to Eastside Park.
Yeah.
And when we drove, for a little kid, it just seemed like it took forever.
Right.
Anyway, we went on the other side down the hill, and my grandfather was getting out of cars and knocking on doors, and every time he would come back, he would start counting money. So I'm like thinking, like, what's going on? And this time, at the next house, he told me to get out the car with him, because I guess he had to do more than collect money. What he had to do was go down in the basement, and I saw him messing with this big box that I didn't know what it was. Turned out it was like a furnace, and he was the landlord. He was actually going and collecting money, and And it was my first taste of somebody actually close to me that I could see who was collecting money like a boss. And I think I didn't think much of it then, but because I started my first business at 16, I guess it had to be inspired by that.
Right, right. What I do know is you've always been of an independent mind, especially when it comes to the music business.
I think you should be independent-minded with anything that you do.
Right.
I mean, if you depend on somebody for your income and they choose to stop your income, you find people out on the street.
Yeah, you asked out.
And I don't ever want to be one of those persons.
I understand that. So, like, you've been indie before indie was indie. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Actually,
I
I
like to
get
call
people
it.
come and tell me this, and I don't want to do this, but before, I think the only competition that I had when I came through was Def Jam, which was Russell Simmons and Lior, and Rick Rubin, and then there was Corey Robbins over at Profile, and then there was me.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, there were a few others. Patrick Moxie was at, because I was in and out of his offices too. And then you have Rough House in Philadelphia that was doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But then there were no other artists that were actually out that had their own labels and production company. And I was on Broadway, the same building as The Source.
Right.
A lot of people don't really know that. But when I look back on it now, you know, people don't see me as the mogul. They see Puff, they see Jay. But before Puff, before Jay, there was little old me doing what I had to do.
True. Let me ask you this. This is actually a question from one of our Mind Squad here at Hip Hop 40. Where did the name YZ come from?
A few things. Back then, you know, we used to always, I was never a 5%er, but we always had to study the lessons anyway. And so Y in the Supreme Alphabet is a question often asked by those who don't know. And Z is zigzag zig, or the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So the answer to the question. So YZ is the answer to the question, or the beginning of the end. And it kind of stuck. It's a little name with a you know, just
meaning.
a big
meaning.
Yeah, meaning and feeling. But
No doubt.
I notice a lot of people are using YZ now too.
Yeah.
The Asian folks is using it. It's a bunch of folks using it now.
Right. You see it.
It's all
everywhere.
good though.
True.
It's all good.
You know, in order to see it though, you gotta have a passport.
Oh yeah.
You need a passport to see YZ something these days.
Yeah.
So, your foray started in this thing. Well, to the masses, it started in '89. Was there a time before?
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
The first record I put out was on a small label called Rock and Hard Records out of Trenton, New Jersey. It was just a couple of brothers who had a label. They had one other group called Simply Def. G-Rock, Tink, and I started a group called Too Def. We put a record out on their label. I was still in high school. I was probably 16.
Okay.
But before that, I had already started a production company called Two Tone Productions with Tony D, Tony DePula, God rest his day. And when we signed that deal, I knew right then that I wanted to put my own records out. Like after we put it out, I didn't want to put anything else out on the label. I was like, I want to do this myself.
Right.
So I acquired 50% of a label called Diversity out of Trenton. This guy named Timothy Baylor. He had a new label. He didn't know what to do with it. I was just like, yo.
I want that.
Yeah, I want that.
Right.
We ended up signing Poor Righteous Teachers to their first deal, and then ended up losing them because Tim and them had bad blood. And a lot of people thought Waz and I had bad blood for a while, and I guess we beefed for a minute, but it's always been love with those dudes. I mean, even while we was beefing, I would go see them, or we would ride around Trenton, you know, talking about different stuff.
It's so crazy. Like during those times, you have been the center of a lot of controversy when it comes to Jersey and MCing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like between the fabled rift between you and PRT.
Naughty.
You and Naughty.
Gangstar.
You and Gangstar.
Big Daddy Kane.
Right.
A bunch of folks.
Yeah, like apparently being indie had, you know, you went through your very own school of hard knocks.
It wasn't hard knocks for me. I carried a gun everywhere I went, and people didn't really bother me so much. And that's the truth.
Right.
And you can ask C, ask all of them dudes.
Right.
If Guru was here, God bless the dead, you can ask him. You can even ask your homeboy Premier today, and I'll say it to your face. He knows.
Right. Right.
I was always a person to go by myself. Even though I took care of a lot of people, when you saw YZ, I was by myself.
Right.
And to this day, I roll by myself.
I hear that, man.
Back then, it was a little different going through the cities because you go to different places. Naughty would always have 40 people with them.
Right.
Gangstar would have a gang of folks with them. And a bunch of other crews would have a bunch of people with them. Now, I had a crew called the Nappy Assassins, but when I went, I was rarely with them because I was in and out of offices. If you saw me, it was usually with Pee Wee Kirkland, or that was usually it. He was my crew. And Pee Wee was enough gang, you know, in itself.
For those that know, you know what I'm talking about.
So,
yeah, man. So, your first album, Sons of the Father.
Yeah.
Classic track, man. Classic album. What was it? What was the maturation process of that album? Like, how long did it take?
It didn't take long at all. Tony D, think about it, back then, Tony D was the beat maker. I took Tony and we started Two Tone Productions, but Tony with me, I would go over, he would play beats and I would just say yes, yes, to anything he played. Yes, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I would take it home and I'll record it. If you notice, that album seems to be all over the place. It's like it has anything from slow stuff on it to stuff that sounds like house music. Only because I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just like, hey, he made a beat, okay, let's do that. But you notice when he did PRT's album, it sounded like it was real tight. And you know, I wish I would have took more time with the process, but at that time I was thinking, put music out. I wasn't really thinking about, you know, the process. I just wanted to put music out. I got lucky with a couple of records.
Okay. We're about to get into one of them right about now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thinking of a Master Plan by YZ right here. Right here on Hip Hop 40. Check it out, y'all. And we're back with YZ. So, sir, that album, that single.
I thought you was gonna segue into the election. My bad.
No,
Go ahead,
no, we gonna get to that.
Okay.
What was the inspiration for Thinking of a Master Plan for you?
You mean what in regards to what?
Like, made you want to write it?
Man, be honest with you, when I was writing that song, Ronald Reagan was the president. And Reaganomics is real strong and affecting a bunch of people. A lot of folks were thinking that Reaganomics is going to change everything, just like they think Trumponomics is going to change everything. And for a lot of us, the only thing that changed in our neighborhoods at that time was crack came about. And it destroyed us. And so I really wanted to, if you listen to the message of that song or what I was trying to get across, I was really bashing politics and praying for a black president, actually predicting a black president. The 44th, if you listen to the record, it says, I got a tool known as a 44. And it talks about a black president coming. And in that video, if you'll notice, there was Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela ended up becoming the president of South Africa, and then lo and behold, the 44th president became Barack Obama, which was, I didn't see this when I wrote it, but by coincidence, it was very prophetic. I just felt like it was, it had to be talked about. Like, I mean, you know, back then, there weren't really many people talking about outside of the message and then PE. Everybody else was really about fun. Even some of the conscious groups, if you listen to them, the P is free. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect at all. I mean, but there was nobody really, in my opinion, really taking it to the streets and saying, like, look, we need to economically be strong. We need to, you know, get our thing together and unite together and figure this thing out together. Daddy-O, who is a well-pronounced Republican, And I don't. Everybody that knows Daddy-O knows that. So I'm not putting him on Front Street.
Right.
We go back and forth about politics all the time. He said something that was profound to me, just maybe last week. He said, "Hey, if there ever was a time for black people to unite, now is the time."
Amen.
You got Trump, Donald Trump,
Right.
as the president, and you got the people who follow him running rampant. If there ever was, and he's so right.
Yeah.
He's so right. We can unite without any qualms at this particular point in time, and it would slip right through the cracks. Because Trump is loved by rappers back in the 90s.
Right.
If you listen to Shaq, if you listen to Ice Cube, if you listen to a bunch of them dudes, they praised his name.
Right.
I never praised Trump's name,
True.
but hip hop praised him.
Yeah.
And I remember even before the election, I had talked about how I thought Trump was going to win. I even posted it. I was like, look, get ready, because this is the fuel. If you look at, at these posts, get ready. They're not going to let this woman become the president.
Right.
We're going to have to deal with Donald Trump. And so when he won, I wasn't surprised. I went to sleep, because I knew I was going to wake up to Donald Trumponomics. And dude is really amazing. He is really amazing. We have a bona fide idiot as a president of the United States.
True.
And I don't mean that in any disrespect. He's a bona fide idiot.
Yeah.
And how we ain't together at this standpoint.
Right.
Think about it, man. You could have a 3rd grade education right now, and you could unite with some of your brothers right now, and it would slip right through the cracks. So Daddy-O was on it. He's a Trump lover.
He called it. He called it. Do you believe that? Well, based on what you said, it's my understanding that you believe that this has come about full circle. Reaganomics and Trumponomics. But
I actually think that Trumponomics is a little different than Reaganomics, because politics back in the 80s, they were very strategic in their moves. Donald Trump is like throwing it up and watch it stick. Because he's fighting Republicans and he's fighting Democrats too. So he's really like, look, I'm going to cause as much ruckus as I can, and because I got the phone, I could say what I want, I could post what I want, I could say what I want, and create the diversion and have people looking this way, and you can forget that I grab those things, and I can and that I say things that don't, that really are offensive.
Yeah.
Because dude is really off the meter.
Yes, he is.
Think about it this way, family.
Yeah.
Just imagine Barack Obama doing 1% of what Trump
But we
does.
all know that wouldn't happen.
Family, I'm just saying, if he had just did 1%, just 1%, a 1/4% of some of the things that Trump does or says,
Right.
man, it would have ousted him.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
It would have ousted him. So how Trump is still the president of the United States, I don't really understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I prefer him over Pence. I ain't gonna front.
Oh, yes.
I prefer, if we gotta live through these 4 years, fine, because Pence would be problems.
Of course. That's the spook. That's the spook.
At least you know.
Yeah. I've done enough of my research on Pence as governor of Indiana.
Family, we would have problems.
Very much so. Very much so. Why? Here's my question to you. You're a rapper. You're a businessman. But I'm speaking to the rapper in you. You come from an era where reflection of the times was put into the music.
I think it still is, no?
Is it though?
It is.
How so?
Well, think about it. You can't turn, and actually, it's almost like reality kind of reflects the music if we put it out there enough. Well, somewhere in the 90s, you had groups like Outkast, and then you had other groups similar to that who were fledglings of that whole movement. And they talked about, actually, let me go back even further.
Talk to
You
me.
had 2 Live Crew who talked about Shake What Your Mama Gave You and all this other stuff and different things.
Yeah.
And I think the children of today are birthed from those movements.
Right.
And if you look, everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, the music reflects the mindset of the people. And not only that, the media makes sure that they spoon feed us every day that sugar, that high every day, because they want us to be fools. They want us to be followers. They want us to buy what they say. They want us to jump when they say jump. They want us to be scared when they say be scared.
Be scared, right.
You get me? So they sent police out to do what they do, like beat us up and kill us in broad daylight, and no one did anything about anything.
Right.
You get me? They sent that boy to that class to grab up that 14-year-old girl, and we did nothing.
Right.
You get me? Yeah. So, and I could go on with the Trayvons and the Moores and the Michael Moores and everybody. I could go on and on and on. True. But at the end of the day, Daddy-O said it best. Trump is the president. If there ever was a time for us to unite, now is the time. Because while he's being the fool he is, we could be covertly doing what we need to do.
We could be legacy building.
Think about it, family. You could have $1 billion in a room with Shaq, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy. And let's say you add a spoonful of LeBron James, who I actually think is very on top of his game. Out of all of them, he's probably the most. And I love Shaq. That's my friend. Now, he's a buddy of mine.
Right.
You get me? I know Diddy. I've known him for years. But they're not doing enough.
No plans.
I ain't even add Oprah to the picture.
Right.
You get me? I didn't add the Tyler Perrys to the picture.
Right.
I didn't add that.
True.
And I ain't gonna add people like Jordan because he's just like Donald Trump to me. You get me?
Yeah. I like it. I like it. So you mentioned that you have the Black Bank.
The Black Bank.
Yes, and you have artists as well as other business ventures.
Homes, businesses, from hair to software out of Utah, Bitcoin.
I want to talk about that. But we're going to go ahead and get into our next video.
A video?
Yes, we're going to get into our next video.
Welcome to Blaze One Radio. Blaze One. Home of the world's hottest blend of indie artists, DJs and talk shows. Blaze One Radio. Blaze One Radio. Check out blaze1radio.com for featured artists, exclusive videos, and more. Want to get your next single played on Blaze One Radio? Just send the radio edit MP3 to blaze1radio@gmail.com. Blaze One Radio, bringing the streets to the industry.
Now, what's up, y'all? This is Kwame. And now, if you are elevated, hip-hop educated, highly mature, respectable crowd, you need to listen to Hip Hop 40. Now I'm trying to be as calm as I possibly can. You have to check Hip Hop 40. If you don't, I don't know what to say about it. Kwame, peace.
YZ, who's still here on the couch with us. Look, he's making deals right now.
Actually, I am. Actually, I am.
No doubt. So, man, amongst your businesses, you mentioned cryptocurrency.
Yes.
For my listeners out there, my viewers out there, can you explain to them what cryptocurrency is?
Cryptocurrency is the future. It's really just a electronic form of currency that you can use, and because it's not federally regulated, you can't be taxed as long as it stays on the net. But you can buy and sell goods all over the world with cryptocurrency. A lot of people know it because of the dark web. You know, if you wanted dope or you wanted to buy children.
Right.
You could go on the dark. I say that jokingly, but that's the quote unquote
stigma.
Yeah, stigma that they put out there. But the truth is, cryptocurrency is going to outweigh greenbacks and currency that as we know it in a few years. And I'll equate it to this. In 1995, a guy came to me and asked me to get into the cell phone business with him in Utah. And I thought about it, but I didn't move. I didn't move. And the next thing you know, he had stores all over Utah. And I had no stores over Utah.
Right.
So when cryptocurrency came about, the first time I saw it, I saw people coming into this establishment and going to this machine. And I was like thinking, what are they doing? Like, I mean, I was in Texas, I was in Dallas. And I'm in and out. They were coming in, putting their card in this machine and taking just a slip, like no money, just a slip. So I had to find out what that was. I didn't want to own a machine after I found out what it was. I didn't want to buy what they were buying. I wanted to make what they were buying. So I became a miner. And a miner is how you actually make the currency. Just imagining having a gold mine. Do you want to be the person with a brick of gold, or do you want to be the person with the actual mine that mines the bricks of gold? And so I mine. Out of Iceland.
Out of Iceland. Damn. Have you traveled to Iceland?
Actually, no, but I'm scheduled to go early next year, February.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but I've seen the mine. I've seen the mine, and I just didn't have the time to go. But I know the people who I mine with, and actually it's the second largest mining company in the world right now. And they're trying to go for #1, but I like what they're doing. If you don't know cryptocurrency, it could be problems, but do your homework. And I say, you know, you were saying like, let's make this cryptocurrency for dummies. But the truth is, I can never tell you enough. You need to get educated if you're going to do anything. And if you're going to get involved in cryptocurrency, if you're going to get into selling dope, learn your craft. Learn your craft. I mean, ask questions, do the research. There's nothing that you can't find on here, but you just got to be careful with what you find on here. So, you know, if you do find something on here, at least do your due diligence with that information too. Because, you know, you can actually put anything on here and, you know, they could say Jesus parted the Red Sea instead of Moses. You get me? They could say Jesus parted the Red Sea, and then somebody be like, did you know that Jesus parted the Red Sea? And I'll be like, well, I remember that story differently. I don't believe Moses parted the Red Sea either. But
Right. For the record. But
yeah, but you know, you get me.
Okay. So it's all about due diligence.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that that due diligence is part of what I like to call the YZ philosophy?
To be honest with you, man, there are many times that I've literally just jumped off the cliff. I'll give you some examples. I'm in the hair business. I met this young lady. She had this great idea about selling wigs because she made these wonderful wigs. Her name is Serena. She had a company, Serena Beauty. So I was like, yo, wigs, that's what's up. Not really doing my due diligence, realizing that there were many, many people out here selling wigs. And if you're gonna get in that business, you gotta know. But it was something about her that I liked. I liked her gangster. And so I backed it. I quickly realized that I had to do some more due diligence. So she moved, I quickly diverted her over into real estate.
Okay.
And so now she's Serena Realtor.
Okay.
And she's doing pretty well, selling homes.
Yeah.
You get me? Very high-end homes on Wish. So, you know, so sometimes I jump off the cliff. Like, I mean, you know, you whisper something. Okay, I'll give you another example. Another friend of mine came up with an idea to sell juices. He was selling them online. And he wanted to take this company called Juice Easy and open it up some. And this will be the last story. But this story is a very important one.
Yeah.
He came to me and he was like, how would you do this? And I was doing some business with a company called We Buy Black. We were going back and forth, and I liked their model. So I told him, I was like, yo, what you should do is before you do anything in retail, get a kiosk open in one of the biggest malls in Houston, or the best you can do it. He did it, and I told him it would pay for everything. And sure enough, and 4 months, they're already looking at their 4th location.
Wow.
And so, if this goes through, I'll run the whole East Coast of this. And so you can look that up, Juice Easy, and they're doing very well. 3,500 juices a month right now.
Wow.
Sold every month.
Damn.
Young black company.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
And that's an old friend of mine. People probably know him, Bobby Fine. They remember Bobby Fine because he was always with me. B-Fine. B-Fine. I would say it all the time.
Yeah.
But Bobby Fine is an entrepreneur killing the business. All organic juices that he makes in his own manufacturing company. You get me?
Yeah.
And I love to see things like that.
I can dig it, man.
Stickman is another one.
Yeah?
Yeah, but that's another story. Because Stick and I have been doing business back and forth for years.
Right. And big ups to Stick, by the way.
Big up to Dead Prez.
No doubt.
Big up to RBG Fit.
How about that? No doubt. So we're about to close out, but I like to ask all of our interview subjects a specific question. If there was a piece of advice that Wise YZ could give to anyone out there watching, what would it be?
Eat to your blood type. Learn what your blood type is and eat to your blood type. And the reason I say that is if you figure out a way to eat to your blood type, or if you want to look beyond that, I'm saying learn how to be healthy. If you treat your body right, your mind will automatically kick in. And you cannot do anything without a healthy body or a healthy mind. You can't go and be a good father. You can't be a good mother. You can't create music. We got so many folks out here, like God bless the dead, Mac Millers, who did not see how powerful their position was. And so what they did is instead of feeding their bodies well, they fed their bodies drugs and alcohol. And if you know me, you know I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't get into the bull crap of life. I'm gonna be 50 years old in December. Yes, I said it. I'm gonna be 50.
Right.
And it's amazing to think that I'm gonna be 50 years old because I'm not supposed to be here.
True.
I'm not supposed to be here. We are not supposed to be here.
Amen.
And I'm blessed because somebody pulled me to the side and said, young brother, you need to learn to eat right. You need to learn to eat right. I look at somebody like Pee Wee Kirkland, who's almost 80, and the brother looked 50 years old to me.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
And so, if I could give any advice to somebody, take care of your body because you can't take care of nothing else. You can't take care of your kids. You can't take care of your job. You can't take care of your wife or your husband. You can't do nothing without health.
No doubt. Thank you so very much, man.
Yes.
Trenton makes, the world takes, ladies and gentlemen. That has never been truer and more personified than this gentleman right here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one time for YZ, y'all.
Yo, give it up for yourself. Give it up for Dread.